Hello, welcome to this week's lab. You may have noticed by now that the lab videos are getting a little bit shorter. The reason that they're getting shorter is because by this point, I expect you to be able to complete the labs based off of just the lab material. So this week, all we're doing for this lab is discussing the lab as we go through it without showing you how everything's done. This week, we're working on data access and usage. We've already worked on this at some points in labs 4, 3, 5. So this is all stuff that you should already know how to do to a certain extent. This is just iteration. So you're going to go into your computer and make sure that you're going into Windows 10-02 and taking a look at the system information and just making sure that it's in the work group of CNT 201, which is not what it already was in. And then you're going to go into local users and groups, and you're going to create some users. You're going to create a test user 1, test user 2, and test user 3. Sorry, you're deleting those users. Instead, you're going to, no, you are deleting the old local admin and other accounts so that all you have left is student, and then you're creating test users 1, 2, and 3. You're going to make sure that you give them passwords that make sense. If the password WCC doesn't work, make it a more complex password. Doesn't really matter what the password is. Just make sure you remember what it is. Then you're going to create a new group under the groups section, and you're going to create a test group 1. And you're going to add people to that test group. And you're going to use test user 1, who you're going to add to test group 1. Then you're going to create a test group 2, and you're going to put both test users 1 and 2 into that group. Then you're going to go into test user 3, go into their properties and make them a member of test groups 1 and 2. Just a little bit different way of creating that group user relationship. Once you've done that, you'll go into disk management and you will create some allocated space out of the extra space that's unallocated. Create some hard drives. Again, nothing new. You guys just did this. And then you're going to create some files and folders. So create the different text files, create the test folders, put the test files inside of the test folders as seen in this diagram, and then start looking at the different sharing properties and so on and so forth. Make sure that you assign the proper properties to each individual user and each individual group. And then test everything's access, make sure everything looks good. Notice that this is a lot of typing for just the one. You'll be testing it. Make sure that you check off all of their configurations. And you can use this table right here to make sure that each individual user has the permissions and settings that they're supposed to have. Once you're done testing all of it and making sure that it works the way that it's supposed to, you should be done with the lab. Yep. Make sure you answer all the questions and make sure that when you fill out your trouble ticket form that you include any information that you had a hard time with and anything that you really learned from the lab that wasn't part of the lab. As always, if you have any questions, please be sure to ask your instructor, and have a good day.